all and her staff and the DOE for making it a great meeting, a great conference for everybody.
First in-person meeting we've had in a long time.
Yes.
It's good to see everybody. We met with our CTSO executive directors. What is today? It was this week. Mr. Woods and Chief of Staff Jones came over, and we just really took an opportunity to let our executive directors of our Career Tech student organizations know that we truly do appreciate the work that they do with our students and our advisors across the state. I'm not sure we had really let them know how much we appreciate them in a while, so we spent a little while talking with them and expressing our appreciation for the extra work they did, especially during COVID. They lost membership, they had to do like everybody else, spend on a dime and change plans and cancel conferences and do hybrid conferences and virtual conferences. And what they've done is real good work. And we know that we have to keep our students engaged. And those Career Tech students organizations are one of the best ways that we can keep students engaged and keep them in school.
Barbara, you always do a great job, and you're always keeping us informed on things. We appreciate that. That got to go, which is important, because that's a great way to brief the board too. So
We feel y'all's support.
Yeah, thanks.
Leadership
Thank you.
from Mr. Woods to every one of you. We appreciate that.
I got a backup question. How did we fold in? What happened with Great Promises? What was it?
Great Promise Partnership.
Yes.
They've joined our staff.
Okay.
And that opens up some more opportunities in our work-based learning program. Our traditional work-based learning program, it's great for students that are not struggling. It's great for students that are staying on top of their grades and are behaving and all, but that's not always, we have students other than just your typical students that succeed at everything. So the Great Promise Partnership looks for those students who are at risk, and they specifically serve the at-risk population with work-based learning opportunities. So having them join our staff will allow extra students that had not been able to participate in work-based learning do so.
So how many of them from the organization came to?
We have 5.
Are they still going into the schools like they were before and reaching out and? Okay.
Yes, we've got 3 region coordinators that are in schools or meeting with business and industry just about every day. And they're also working with our work-based learning folks at the local level so that they can tie all that together.
Could you send us a copy of who is in our district who
Sure.
represents those
Sure.
districts? Everybody might want to know that. We've all been involved in it at some point, so that might be good to have as a resource. And thank you.
All right. Any other comments? So we'll move it to the consent agenda, and we'll need our signatures on it tomorrow after it's approved. Okay.
Is the resolution in a form to be signed by the board?
Yes, it is. We can get that for you.
All right. Number 3, Title 20 waiver.
So Chattooga County Schools is seeking a waiver of the portion of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated Section 20-2-51 C4A, which provides that no person who has an immediate family member serving as a school principal or assistant principal or district leadership, etc., may serve on the local board of education. This law also stipulates that if the LEA's initial fall enrollment count conducted in 2009 pursuant to state code does not exceed a full-time equivalent count of 2,800 students, the State Board of Education shall be authorized to waive its rule and law upon request of the local Board of Education or an individual attempting to qualify to run for local Board of Education member. Chattooga County Schools had an FTE of less than 2,800 at that time. A current local Board of Education member in Chattooga County Schools has a daughter that is being promoted to an assistant principal position within the district. Chattooga County Schools had an FTE of less than 2,800 and is requesting a waiver to allow the current local Board of Education member to continue to serve on the board through the end of his term of office.
Any comments, questions?
Is this the second one that we requested we've had?
from Chattooga?
No,
Oh, from-
this is another county, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Minus district.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had one in Lanier County back in August.
Ms. Petty, or Taylor, what due diligence do we do upon a request for a waiver?
So we check for, like we said, the student counts. We provide information and check with them to make sure that they've notified their community of their request for this particular waiver, that they've done a resolution with their board during their public meeting so that their community as well is aware that they are making this request for this particular purpose, and to check that when that meeting happened, that the particular board member in question abstained from voting on the position in question.
So the Chattooga board passed this unanimously besides the abstaining member?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Petty.
Any other questions?
And the follow-up on that, as it moves forward in the years, do y'all follow up with those systems?
Well, they may, in the event, so if the board member ends their term, at the end of their term of office, if they wish to run again, that would likely need to be another waiver request if they chose to run again for the seat.
And this particular board member's term is up in December of this year, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
So to, Ms. Petty, if I may, to clarify, if they want to run again, they have to ask for another waiver?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? If not, anyone have problem moving this to the consent agenda? Move this to the consent agenda tomorrow.
I do want to make one clarification. Item number 1 would need to be pulled for a separate vote.
Right, correct.
And just for clarification, the public hearing on that no one signed up for that? No one made any comments, I guess.
For the work-based learning rule, correct, but we don't know yet if there will be
Right,
public.
about tomorrow, right.
Well, that concludes the rules committee. Anyone?
Do you want to talk? I think we ought to tell everybody we had the great meeting at the end of January on the Dyslexia Committee, and both meetings have been really, really good, and the support has been great. We appreciate that. And Keith, thank you for making sure that everything worked. Tiffany, for the other one, it was just really good. And I think that what we'll find out in this next week is that SREB is working on what the group laid out. We looked at a couple of states to see how well they align with Georgia, and did a lot of work, and it was divided up into teams, and people really spent a lot of time collaborating and discussing it. And so there will be a draft of what was discussed and pulled together, and will be sent back to the group, make sure everything's tweaked, and then we'll get with policy and let them see, so y'all can start looking at how to form it into a rule. But I thought it was a great.
We'll look at having Stephen speak.
I was gonna, did you already mention that? And
Yeah.
some from the group come in March?
Yeah, perhaps in March, having Stephen come and just give just a brief readout to so all the board members can hear what the discussion that was being had. Anything else anyone has to say? All right, then we'll clang your gavel there.
You done? All right. All right, well, that's, so we are adjourned?
We are adjourned.
All right, the next thing on the agenda, I realize it's not till 11:30, it's executive session, but there's no reason why we can't go ahead and adjourn for executive session. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. Is there something else?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, I see people,
Just doing a quorum check.
do we have 8? We do have 8. For the purposes of discussing legal matters, personnel, discipline hearings, and any other matters that may be included in Georgia law. We have a first from Mr. Long,
Second.
second from Mr. Sweeney. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
If y'all go to a cattle auction, you'll know what that means.
Yeah.